Last week's Parsha ended with Avraham passing the ultimate test, showing God that he was willing to sacrifice his son, the Akedah, the binding of Yitzchak. This week's Parsha starts with the death of Avram's beloved wife, Sarah. The sages explain that those two incidents are next to each other because they're connected. The Satan, immediately after the Akedah, rushed to Sarah to tell her that Avram had bound her son in order to sacrifice him. And before she heard the news that he actually didn't go through with it, she went into shock and she died. But why did the Satan do that? Was he trying to take revenge on Abraham? He had tried very hard to stop Avram from passing the test of the Akedah. The Satan turned himself into a river, forcing Avram to wade through it. But the Satan doesn't take revenge. The Satan isn't the devil. It's a different religion. The Satan works for God. His job is to test us. When we fail the test, when we give in to temptation, he's not happy, he's upset. I calibrated the test perfectly for you. When we pass the test, then he's happy. Perfect. Kudos to you. So what's going on? The answer is he's doing his job because his job is to test us. He was testing Avram once again because he knew that when Avram came back from the Akedah and put two and two together and realized the Satan told my wife what had happened, that I'd bound my son and she died, Avram might regret the Akedah. And if he does, he'll lose the mitzvah for passing the ultimate test. But how can that be? He did it. You need to tell me that if I give charity to a poor person, and maybe I give a little more than I had planned, and I later regret it, I lose the mitzvah? And the answer is yes. And it has to be that way. Because think about it. If we do a sin, and then we repent, we recognize we did something wrong. We regret it. We resolve not to do it again. The sin gets wiped out. So it's the same thing with a mitzvah. If we do it and then regret it, it gets wiped out. Many years ago, when my wife and I first got married, we were living in Massachusetts. And my wife went shopping in what the locals call Stam Market. On her way out, an elderly woman with her groceries said, "Excuse me, young lady, you think you could give me a ride?" My wife said, "Sure," figuring that the woman must live in the neighborhood. So this was before Waze, couldn't put an address in. The woman was directing her, go straight, a few blocks, make a left, make a right, go another few blocks, make another turn. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they're still driving. After about 25 minutes, my wife finally drops her off. So a favor that she thought was going to take 5 to 10 minutes ended up taking nearly an hour. When that happens, you can easily regret it and say, if I had known it was going to be that difficult or that expensive, that time consuming, I wouldn't have done it. And then you lose the mitzvah. And that's why in our prayers, we ask God to protect us from the Satan in front of us when he's trying to talk us into doing the wrong thing. And behind us, we've passed the test. We've done the right thing. He's still whispering in our ear, regret it, don't you regret it? And we have to pass that test as well and say, no, I do not regret it. Even though it was more difficult than I thought. But I did that mitzvah and I'm holding on to it.